Well, I'd like to welcome back with us our social service department. I know you're passionate about this, and this is fall prevention. And as we know, when my mom was alive, I can recall, several years before she passed away, having a fall, how it affected her. And it just is, I've heard, and I don't know how much, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a very high cause of lifestyle change, and tragically can even result in death. We think of a simple fall. Growing up, we fall all the time as kids and all that, but as you get older, it becomes so much more life-threatening, right?
It really does. And it's clearly one of the biggest issues that we have in Laguna Woods Village. I've been here since November, coming up on a year, and I think I've seen almost 230 cases for falls.
Wow.
And we go out, we meet with families in their home, and because falls can be so debilitating, it can take your baseline down a little bit with each fall, with each hospital visit. We come in, we try to create a support system by connecting residents with resources, referrals, acting as a bit of a safety net. We want to understand clients' needs and how to benefit them in the future and what they're going to need in the future.
Even just a casual fall as we get older, how much that can affect your lives. And, even for me, fortunately, I haven't fallen recently or anything like that. But I just noticed, like, say I'm working out out in the garden or around the house, and I might kneel down and hit my knee against something very casually. Well, 20 years ago, I would have been like, okay, wow. And now it might hurt for an hour, that's all it is. But there's a remarkable difference from just 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Absolutely. And so that's why we created this program, because of that issue. And so for this program, it's got two parts. It's got the exercise class, which we've talked about. It's balance and fall prevention. It's led by Memorial Care Physical Therapy. And we've had excellent feedback about that. And it's really because of the physical therapist who's running it. Her name's Susan Yoakum. Residents love it. The one thing we just ask of residents, we've had a higher attrition rate than we like to see. And there's so many residents who want to be in the class. We just kind of ask that when you sign up for the class, you try to get to all 8 sessions because there's such a high demand for it.
And the next round is coming up, is it January?
Yes, it's coming in January. We're in our 7th week of the first
so we'll talk about that as we get, but this is what we want to mainly talk about.
This is why we're here.
Yeah, and this is the event that's coming up, a workshop on October 30th, Tuesday, at Clubhouse 7 at 2:30, and Dr. David Law will be there, and I had mentioned to Dustin, he's been on our show throughout the years, several times. I think he was on just recently.
Just last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he is somebody that has always been involved in this community and fall prevention in general, right?
Yep, so he will be speaking on the age-friendly health system. So the title of his talk is called What Matters to You Matters to Us.
Yeah.
And that has to do with age-friendly. Age-friendly health, the age-friendly health system it's essentially a care framework. It's a set of best practice interventions that seek to implement the 4 M's. And the 4 M's are what matters most, medication, mentation, and mobility.
Meditation.
No, not meditation, mentation.
Oh,
that's a common confusion.
What's mentation?
Mentation, it has to do with the prevention of cognitive impairment. So namely dementia, depression, delirium.
Yep. And of course, one of the things that can help with is being social in your life, right? When it comes to that part of it. Now, fall prevention, what I think is, we've had people on our program over the years, and of course, what you folks do, and I know social services does, just going out to people's home, even if somebody's, very active, you look around the home and just simple tripping hazards and things like that. So that part of fall prevention is actually pretty easy to take care of. But of course, as you get a little bit older, or maybe you need a walking device or something like that, you become more unsure of yourself, and that can result in falling as well.
Yep, you're right, and that's one of the three key things, evidence-based interventions that residents can do themselves. So home safety evaluations. We can do that ourselves, social services. We also have educational guides where you can kind of walk through your house. Are there rugs that might cause tripping? Do you have a grab bar in the shower?
Yeah.
That's one of the key things. Yeah.
As far as, and I want to make sure I have this right, because it's something I've heard about, that if someone has one fall, and as they get through that, and they get over it, so they get healed from that, they actually get to the point where they become so nervous of just walking that it can result in another fall because they're almost over careful. Am I right?
That's an excellent point. Yep, and that's another thing we try to encourage is starting a PT exercise routine because that fear of falling it makes us isolate ourselves. Something I learned from Dr. Law recently is that falls are actually a symptom. And that symptom is of immobility. Okay. So it's that fear of falling causes that immobility. It's that fear that keeps us inside. But really, we want to get out, we stay active, create those exercise regimens every single day according to what your physical therapist, what your primary care physician recommends.
And of course, staying inside and staying isolated, there's something that can cause, as far as dementia goes, or
right back to the mentation.
So it all kind of works hand in hand.
Yeah, and that's why the age-friendly health system initiative is so brilliant, because those four M's are so interrelated. The what matters. It's that shift away from we usually ask, well, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
It's a shift towards what matters most to you, and how can we make your goals and values realized, and get you there. The medication is extremely relevant. We talk about polypharmacy a lot.
Right.
And that's when we're prescribed 4 or more medications. Highly risky for falls, and it makes it more likely for those mentation issues. So the medication, two of the biggest risk factors for the mobility. So those 4 M's are all interrelated, and they can be a vicious cycle when we don't kind of stop it, and that's what this aims to do.
All right, so again, this is Tuesday, October 30th at Clubhouse 7 at 2:30 to about 4. Dr. Law will be there. Do people need to RSVP or just show up for this?
Just show up.
Okay, but on the screen, we do have the number of social services, so if you are ever in need of them, maybe you just want to stop down there and find out what they're all about. That's, I think, one of the best things to do, because then it gets in your mind that it's here on the first floor of the community center. You meet people. They're great people down there, like Dustin and all the others. And their number is 949-597-4267. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
You take care. We'll be back.